Welcome, and thank you for joining for another whiskey review. Today, we'll take a look at another Springbank 12, second release in 2024, batch 26, which is how we will talk about them going forward and how I will put them in the whiskey reviews by batch number. Because that just seems simpler now that we're getting both of America. Dustin, batch 25, we're a huge fan of, one of our favorites.
Yes. Ooh, Mike's pouring heavy.
I am not pouring that heavy.
I was going to say, we got a lot of reviews to do, buddy.
We're not going to get through the night.
I'm happy to have you drink as much as you want after the reviews. Let's get through the reviews first.
Dustin, this Springbank 12, it's something that we've a big fan of, these annual releases. This one comes in at 56.2% ABV. What's the, what was it, 70-30? 60-40?
Oh, man. See, as soon as you guys saw my face there, I realized I forgot to look it up beforehand.
Don't guess.
So it's bourbon forward first.
I think it was 60-40.
Sherry second, and then there is a 5% rum. I do know that part.
Yeah,
so there is a rum in this one, and we will get into that because I think it's very noticeable.
All right. Again, big fan of batch 25. This is batch 26 of the Springbank 12 in the modern incarnation. Dustin, we like Springbanks.
Yes, we do.
Ooh, that was definitely funkier than the other one. It's sweet, but it's funky.
Yeah, it's got a little bit of like I'm getting a little bit of like a gummy worm kind of thing going on with red fruit.
There are some red fruits here. I agree with that.
The finish though at the end though is kind of like a bit of like crystallized, like slightly like a sour like sugar kind of thing, with a little bit of just kind of funk. Where my guess is again maybe a hint of rum's coming through there.
I tell you what, has a nice balance between the funk and the sweetness. I would say it's funk heavy, just slightly. It's pretty close though.
I will say, I'm getting so much of that like sweet gummy thing going on here, and then that sour note. It actually gave me a little bit of like Hazelburn 10 kind of like sour notes.
Okay.
I'm not getting a ton of just your classic Springbank sugar cookie. I'm not getting that little bit of saltiness you get sometimes.
I'm not getting the saltiness for
sure. And I'm not getting any real smoke.
I tell you what though, you're right. That rum could be adding to what I'm thinking is just, well, it definitely adds to the overall funkiness, but I was thinking it was more Springbank funk first. But you're right, it's more of a funky vanilla funk.
To me, it's got a little bit more sourness, which I think is coming from the rum. It's just a guess.
Funky vanilla,
but
sour milk.
But I mean, I'm not getting any of the. I mean, I'm getting a little bit of smoke here, guys. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it is Springbank still, but it's definitely coming off less smoky than a lot of the 12s do.
I say it's more smoky than batch 25.
I disagree on that.
That was overly sweetness. To me, I'm getting a little bit more than I was with that.
That one I thought had a nice smoke with the sherry casks, but
I don't disagree with that. Just where you're placing this one, apparently.
I just don't get any real smoke notes. I mean, I just get like a hint of peat on the finish.
I'm getting a little more than you are.
It is starting to. That initial arrival was so sweet, but you're right. It's starting to come.
It really is walking a fine 50-50 line between overall funkiness. Let's put it that way, and sweetness. It's a good sweetness.
Yeah, no, nothing's wrong here at all. I will say though, Mike,
it's not the sweetness of the 25 though. I want to be clear about that.
But it's not doing anything really special. This is, as Springbank 12 goes, kind of like the ABV is probably average low. Mm-hmm. This is probably average low for Springbank 12 on the nose.
Oh,
which is, I mean, we're talking Springbank 12 here.
I know.
I mean,
yeah, it's good.
I've never had a bad one. Well, a little bit of now the vanilla is coming through a little bit more, but it's still not like quite cookie dough notes. A hint of chocolate coming through now, which isn't necessarily always on these. But yeah, just kind of nice whiskey.
Cookie dough's on the palate with the salt. Cookie dough, salt. As soon as you swallow, salt kicks up. A little bit of funky vanilla. Smoke kind of takes over in the back. Nice sweetness to go along with the smoke and the linger. What'd I miss?
So, agree with what you said. It's simple, straightforward, Springbank up front. Sherry comes through more than on the nose. Just really, I mean, we've reviewed dozens of these guys. Just very much classic Springbank up front. But then, the finish really hits you hard. The best part of this whiskey for sure is that finish.
Yeah.
It's got a nice linger, but also it gets very bright, citrusy fruits. Again, reminding me a bit more of like a Hazelburn 10, but almost turned up another notch because I think that little bit of rum they added that extra little bit of sourness, and it actually really complements it. It does make you, for a second, go, this is a 12-year-old? It comes off a touch youthful. But I think that's just the rum giving it like a different kind of character.
The citrus notes are what come off youthful to me. And,
Yes.
you're right. On the long finish, the citrus notes are there. There's so much to appreciate here. I think it would be one of the more cookie cutter Springbank 12s of ones with the 5% rum.
Agree.
The rum adds to the overall funkiness to where it takes over the experience from the sweetness just slightly. But the interplay between sweet and funk has really been interesting from the first nosing here. I don't know who's going to win. But on the palate, the sugar cookies were there. It was right there when you were holding the whiskey in your mouth. It was sugar cookie instantly with a twinge of salt. As soon as you swallow, salt, and then the rest of it came out.
Like I said, it's classic Springbank 12, and of the modern ones, post black box, it's probably slightly more sherried, but just barely than the average.
Yeah, I tell you what, that cookie. It's January here. We're recording this now. I'm just getting done with my eating season.
My eating season.
You know I do that every 4 months. It's my 4 months to eat. So I've ate plenty of cookies, is my point. I know a sugar cookie when I taste one right now. It's almost a green Christmas sugar cookie. Oh, man. These are always fun to do. You say it was hard to live up to the batch 25 for me, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, Springbank's done a couple of really good ones. They did that all bourbon one, which was unbelievable.
Even the local barley all one, I still like that one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the 12s have been on a run of just seemingly getting better every time.
Good whiskeys.
And it was getting a little tough, so they finally had to have one fall off.
Yeah, I mean, all in all, I don't know, this is probably a point and a half better than the 25, in my opinion. But this all goes back to what are you looking for in your Springbank?
Absolutely.
I like... At this point, I think we are looking for Springbanks to do something really, really well and really, really nice sweetness, or a really, really good cask mixture to this or that, or like the funk note, or the sugar cookie note. Like we're looking for something that might be impossible to find.
Well, and yeah, that's fair. And I gotta say, Mike, I just went and nosed it and tasted it with water. It's discernibly not any different. Honestly, it takes the water beautifully. Just a little less alcohol, and the finish is still bold, rich, and kind of punchy. It actually drinks a little bit warmer because of that finish than the 56.2. But nothing crazy. Just I would put this. I would have guessed this was like one of the ones that was 57. I mean, we're not talking anything crazy at all.
Yeah, but actually, we would know. I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
it's close. All right, Dustin, whiskey score time. It's your bottle. I'll go first. I mean, it's not as good as a 25, but how could I give this anything less than an 88? That's where I'm at. It's a good whiskey. It's a fun whiskey. I mean, any other... Again, it's all about expectation. Like any other time someone gives me this bottle of Springbank 12, I'm super excited to drink it. Like, I'll drink this all night. Cask strength, nothing not to like here. But, again, compared to what batch 25 was, I was hoping for more. Like always, like anybody.
Yeah, I think you're going a little low. I think when Springbank 12 is average, like this one is, it's an 89 all day for me. This almost might be my definition of an 89.
I was going to say an 8.5, but yeah.
This is exceptionally good whiskey that isn't, holy crap whiskey. And, that's what the last batch was. I think we gave it a 90. This is an 89. It's excellent. But, I've had friends of mine, because there was either a truck or a ship. There was some kind of issue where the allocation that we got here in the States, a bunch of bottles were lost.
God, of all the wrecks that have happened. Good Lord.
Like the 18 didn't show up here, and we were very limited on the 12s and the Paula Cortado.
And I heard the 18 was a good one.
I know, I've heard it's epic. Thankfully, there is a friend of the channel who may be able to get me a sample of that. So we may
love the 18.
And it's all bourbon this time. I really want to try it.
Like for us, we love that all bourbon. I mean, 25 is my first love, but the 18 is just one I was like, how did I miss this?
Yeah. Well, some of the early ones didn't wow me. Anyway, back to this.
Yes.
Just, I wanted to point out this because I had 5 or 6 people ask me, hey, man, I can't get it at a reasonable price. All the stores are asking $250, $300. I know you said the last one was worth going out and paying that. Would you do it for this one? And I've told everybody.
No.
Man, Nose is a 4 out of 10 as Springbank 12s go. Arrival's 4 out of 10 as Springbank 12s go. And it's maybe a 7 on the finish. I was like, if you value finish that much, I said go for it. But otherwise, man, I'm saying you've got other Springbank 12s. You've got a deep collection. I think you're good. If you you are out of Springbank 12 and you can get one, I mean, I'd probably do it. But
I mean, again, it's like Lagavulin 12s. I mean, why not get all of them if you can?
yeah, but it's $250, $300. I'm like, I can't recommend this at that price.
I don't recommend it either, but if you get it, I completely understand.
Exactly. So this is one of those where I'm just
Yeah, I ain't saying you're wrong.
yeah. So if you're going to end up missing out because of the allocation got really tight this time around, I understand, man. Don't go chasing this too hard.
Agreed. 25 was the one. Anyway, those are our thoughts on this particular Springbank 12. If you guys has a chance to try this batch 26, we'd like to know what you guys think. Dustin, until next time, folks.
Happy drinking.
We'll see you next time.